Alrighty, the first thing I'm going to do before I put this glass in is that there's a mark on the glass that stretches here. Well, that has to be a black color, so I'm going to tape off the inside of the glass and then paint it on the inside right here, just that little, like, not even quarter-inch section right here. It serves as the cowl piece. So yeah, it can't be clear, it's got to be painted. So I'm going to use a combination of tapes. First I'm going to use my curve tape. It's really flexible and you can use that, and then I'll go over it with a wider masking tape, and then I'll cover up the rest of the windshield with thick stuff, about 25 millimeter, and then I think 10 or 5, I can't remember on that one. And then this is 3 millimeter Tamiya curve tape. I don't think they call it curve tape, but that's what I call it. Works pretty good. So that's what we're going to be doing here, and then after that we're going to carefully glue it into the car and wrap some stuff up underneath the hood, and I think we'll be done with this thing today. I did end up clearing the whole car because I didn't like it with just the decals and no clear. It turned out pretty good. You might not be able to see too well on the camera, but in real life you can still see the black decal. It's you got to kind of get up on it to see it, but you can see it. And then I ended up putting the Plymouth on the rear quarters. I thought that was pretty cool looking after all. And yeah, we will be done with this thing today, and we can move on with other projects. And we'll figure out the future videos later. But yeah, that's the plan. Really just the glass, the bumpers, and 2 pieces that go underneath the hood, and this thing's done. So getting excited to see it all completed. And yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. So first I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to curve tape this and mask this and paint, go spray this black spray paint. Doesn't have to be fancy. That's what we're going to be doing. Actually, I think I'll do, since it's the cowl, and it's supposed to be the cowl and not the hood, and not the glass, I'm going to tape the outside of it, because that'll look better on the paint. Because if I paint the inside of it black, it'll still look like glass on the outside. So we're going to tape the outside. I was wrong. That's what we're going to be doing. And that's what we're gonna go paint real quick. Just do this little strip here, and we'll be right back. All right, that's what it looks like right after the spray paint, and I'll let that sit and dry for a little bit before I glue the glass in. So yeah. All right, it should be dry enough to take off the tape. Although it didn't really have the desired effect. Supposed to be a semi-gloss black, and it's kind of a nasty black, but let's just take the tape off and put it in there and see if it's going to make much of a difference. That'll have to repaint it. But it's what you get with rattle cans sometimes. I should have used something better, but all right, there's that. Kind of looks like crap. Let's see if it's going to make much of a difference and is noticeable. It's pressed in there. I think that'll be fine because it didn't gloss right here, but this is a flat black. The engine blade's a flat black, so I think that'll be fine. And we'll put the hood on. Oh yeah, you can't even tell. You're only gonna be able to see it when the hood's off. So that's fine. We're gonna roll with that. I am going to use a new glue for gluing in the windshield, a clear Gorilla Glue. Virtually bonds to everything. You know, crystal clear, easy to use, water resistant, indoor, outdoor. Gorilla Clear Glue. Yeah, first time I'm going to use this because I felt like I couldn't find the clear Elmer's stuff. And haven't used it yet, and the tip's already clogged up, so that's nice. Points off for not having a screw-on lid that apparently doesn't seal in moisture. So Already, or I haven't even used it yet, already have something negative to say about it, so that's cool. Alright. Alright, but for this we are going to glue it. I like when windshields and back glass are one piece because you can glue right around here. And that way you don't have to try and do around the perimeter of the glass because that's a huge pain in the bootski. And it comes out very fast, so that's also kind of a negative, but I haven't done it on this one because I didn't think of it till I was too late. But I thought about tinting the glass to make it even darker, but I already super glued the rear view mirror on, and I'm not going through that pain in the butt again, so we are not going to tint the glass on this one. We will instead do that on a later build instead. Got a little too much there. Alright, we got a healthy amount there, and we will slide it back in. It seems to be sitting good and penetrating. Put the useless cap back on because it'll dry out regardless. And we won't. I'm not going to clamp it because the clamps will clamp too tight and put imperfections in the roof. So we're just going to push it down and call it good. I wonder what I don't know if it says about drying time, but it says clamp objects together. Not going to do that. For 2 hours, then full cure in 24 hours. You can use heavy objects to achieve clamping pressure. Well, I don't have anything that will work as a heavy object that would let me not have to clamp it. But yeah, we're not. Well, I kind of have to. Dang it, I don't want to. I need to think of something real quick and I'll be back. All right, here was the solution. My clamps, even though they're rubber padded, if they come in contact with it for too long, the clear I use, it will make indentations. So to combat this, I put a folded up sticky note for them to clamp on to provide a barrier so that they won't clamp so hard on my clear coat. So that's the solution, so it can be clamped. I feel like it will, in fact, have to have some sort of clamp or pressure to make it adhere better. So that was the solution. But now that that's done, let's see if we can get the body in there, or get the interior in there, I mean, and also be able to get out the clamps. I know I'm not crazy. There it goes. Alright, the interior's in there. It's not going to interfere with the clamps. So we will drop a couple dabs of super glue in these two little holes. I use Loctite gel super glue. Tis the good stuff. And we'll let that dry for a minute. All right, let's flip the chassis over into the bottom of the car. And that way we can flip her over and sit her down, finish her up. All right, it's in there. And it's looking pretty freaking cool. And the only thing we got left to do is front bumper, rear valence, brake master and cylinder, or brake, master cylinder and brake booster. If I could talk right, that would be great. And a coolant hose, and bing bang boom, she's done, ready to rock and roll. So let's get going on that. I'm getting excited to have this thing done. And we will, I never glue the chassis to the car. It sits on there pretty good as is. So yeah, I never do. All right, we glue the rest of these parts on, and yeah, we're gonna be done here shortly. All right, I test fitted the hood real quick after I glued the brake master cylinder and booster down. Since I glued this to the bottom of the hood, it's not necessarily going to line up with the carburetor. So what you do to combat that, the bottom of the shaker has 2 holes in it. What you'll do is you'll take something and cut this out, make a bigger opening so it'll fit over the carburetors, because everything's not quite lined up, because this is supposed to technically glue on top of the engine. But for better fitment inside the hood, I always glue this to the bottom of the hood. So what I'm gonna have to do, I'm gonna have to cut this out, make a big rectangular opening, that way it'll fit properly and sit there. And what I'll do to do that is I'll take these and just clip this out. Very carefully, I'll clip it out. And then I'll take an X-Acto blade and just cut that out a little more so it'll fit right. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. So first I will glue this other hose in and let that dry, because it is a pretty delicate hose. They don't like to sit in there correctly. And sometimes they don't even line up. But this one, hallelujah, this one lines up. So look at that. All right, I glued that hose in. The glue, sadly, does dissolve paint, which is very annoying, so I will have to take some rubber black and just touch up right where the hose goes into the radiator, because, yeah, the glue dissolves a little bit of the paint. Right, on to widening out the hole in this hood, shaker hood, and yeah, that's where we're at. All right, you'll have something like that, and that should fix all the clearance issues, and it'll sit nice and flat. Like that. It'll sit nice and flat like that. All right, we will take it back off real quick to give her a quick little wipe down, because the fingerprints are no bueno. And we'll put it back on. All right, now we're gonna put the rear bumper on. The challenging part about that is the lower valence is a little tricky, because it goes on, kind of goes on with the bumper. So you kind of have to just get a little weird with it, because it'll go on like that as an assembly. So you almost have to glue it on first together, but it also has to line up. So you got a lot of factors that you have to be concerned with to get it on correctly. So I like to kind of elevate the rear of the car and try and get as up close and personal with it as you can and try and work on it like that. You're not going to be able to see quite what I'm doing from this angle, so maybe I will do something about it here real quick. All right, let's try this for a minute, see if we can get this on here. All right, so what I'm going to do is glue this bumper to the rear valence, and I'm going to let that dry before I try and sneak it in there, because this is the challenging part of this whole car. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, we're going to let that dry. We're going to flip around and put the front final bumper piece on. This one's a little more easier to deal with because there's little holes. There's little holes in the back of this that you just line up with the pegs on the bumper. All right, that's on there. We're gonna let that dry and that dry, and then we'll come back in a little bit and finish it up, hopefully. All right, front bumper's dry, so we can flip her back around and take the clamps off of this. All right, we got her on there as good as we can. Let's test fit, or try to test fit. If this doesn't work, I will have to let it dry for an extended period of time. Also, my little stand here is not going to work because it's interfering with placement. Being real difficult here because the chassis has to slide in, also up into these holes for the exhaust, and it's deeming quite to be a pain in my butt. Say, once this is in here, we're home free. All right, with much cursing, it's in there. We're gonna have to do some touch up right here. It's just so hard to glue because this doesn't have any surface area to really glue onto. So what I'm gonna have to do, I'm gonna have to put some glue here on the seam and this seam to help it sit there. But yeah, that's basically what you gotta do. It's very difficult to get it to line up, but it is lined up. And it looks pretty, it looks okay. It's just very frustrating to get that piece in there. So yeah, what we're gonna have to do, we're gonna put some glue on it and then touch it up after the fact. There's no way around it. There's just no place for it to glue to. And what we'll do is we'll actually set that on its back, which is good because we got some crap we got re-glue anyway. I see that came unglued, which is not ideal at all. I swear the last 5% of a model is the most frustrating part because stuff just starts coming unglued because you gotta maneuver stuff around so much. But it is what it is. We do this to ourselves. So we'll go with that. And the frustrating part about this exhaust is that it's warped and I can't line that up, and I'm not going to try to line it up because it's just going to break off the engine. So you're just going to have to deal with it, unfortunately. It's very shoddy, you know, mold on that. And there's just nothing you could do about it except you could put some filler and kind of make your own little exhaust there. And which I might do just so it doesn't look, you know, disconnected like that. So I think we'll go ahead and do that. All right, we're gonna start with that and let it dry, and then we'll paint it and shape it a little more to make it look like the exhaust is lined up. Other than that, we're gonna call it, I think, we're gonna call it pretty much done. Got, let's see, no wobbles. Hood so crooked because I messed it up earlier. No wobbles. Got a little bit of hood alignment issues going on here, but I might have to shave some more stuff off. But we won't put that on camera. We're pretty much done. We'll have to do some minor touch-ups, of course, because there's never a kit that you build where you don't have to touch something up. But yeah, it's pretty much done. Just some touch-ups that we'll do a quick little bit on later once that stuff dries and I painted it. Or once that stuff dries, we'll come back and do the touch-up on the exhaust. And I'll shave the hood some more to get it to fit better. And we'll be back with you in a few. All right, everything's dry on the rear bumper, so we're going to ahead and touch it up with some black paint. Only right underneath here and here. And then we'll flip it over and see what we can do with the exhaust. All right, that's touched up. So you didn't have to get real crazy with it, just enough to fix it. And actually, I'll take that paint pen real quick and get it a spot right here. That's pretty good there. And now we're gonna flip her over. All right, well, the filler only worked on this side. Completely did not work on this side, so I'm going to try and take a tiny piece of sprue and make it fit and put it in there to kind of just do something about the exhaust, because there's nothing you can do about it other than ignore it or try and rig up some stuff. So I'm going to try and sand this little piece down just to stick it in here so it looks like the exhaust is actually connected. And I'm not going to film that because it's probably going to be very frustrating, and it won't be very interesting. It's going to be a lot of sanding and placing and sanding and placing, so I'm not going to film that. So I'll let you see what I end up with. Alrighty, I did end up cutting a piece, patching it in there, putting some goo on it. Gotta let it dry for probably a full day before I can paint it and just shape it. Alright, just to fill you in on what I did with the exhaust, we're gonna film that little section of what I'm about to do and put it in. So yeah, we're going to hopefully paint and shape what I did to the exhaust to make it line up. We'll unveil it off, and this is what I do when I'm too lazy. I'll set the box lid inside the box, and then it's kind of a pain to get the back out. So I will throw a rag over the top of the box to seal it off. But yeah, we're gonna take it off and see what we can do about the exhaust. Hopefully make it at least somewhat passable. All right, it definitely looks better. Still looks a little bit messy, but looks like all we'll have to really do, and I'll zoom in here. Zoom in so you can see a little better. Yeah, but right here is the problem area for sure, and we will, basically I'm just gonna paint it with flat black and then paint the silver for the exhaust and just kind of make it look a little better because it looks like poo-poo. And yeah, that'll be the plan. It's not gonna look amazing by any means, but it'll look way better than not doing anything at all with it, because it would just look like it's disconnected. And not that I ever really pose them on a mirror, but someday I would like to pose them on a mirror so you can see all the cool stuff I do to the bottom of this. But you know, with stuff like that, it's just not gonna be passable. So, right, we will get out some flat black. always with the Tamiya paint comes the flat black, XF1 if you will. I'll find a suitable paintbrush. I don't have any lacquers in here. Hopefully I can clean that one up at a later date. I touched up the Mustang, the green Mustang with lacquer paint, forgetting I don't have any lacquer thinner to clean my paintbrush with, so it's rock solid. So I don't know how that's gonna work later, but hopefully we can salvage it. Always give your paint a good shake. And we will go ahead and fix this up, hopefully. The problem with the flat black paint is that when you spray it, it definitely looks flat. But when you hand paint with it, it doesn't always dry very flat looking, which is a problem because, you know, I sprayed the whole chassis with flat black paint and it looks flat. So then you got these tiny areas here where I've touched it up with the brush and it doesn't quite look the same as the spray. But I also could be wrong. I've been in a habit lately of spraying chassis and bigger parts with rattle can flats, so that could be why it looks different too. What we will kind of do is just a once over on a few areas, and hopefully it will look passable. The problem with the sprue goo is that it leaves strands of like hair and fibers, and it's very hard to get rid of. But we're basically going to paint it to look like it's shaped this way. And that's basically all I can do. Kind of make it look like an optical illusion that it's crap. Touch up a couple other problem areas while we're here. Alright, we will get the silver paint out next, do the exhaust. Alright, for my silver for the exhaust, I prefer Model Air Vallejo. Where's the camera? There it is. I prefer this over any Tamiya metallic silver. The only downside, it is a squeeze top, not a jar, so you have to pour it into a pallet or something. We'll just take a little bit and touch up some spots, and then hopefully we'll be done. Granted, it does not look very convincing that it's exhaust, but it just looks better than doing nothing about it. Oh well, no model build is 100% perfect. In fact, most of mine get to the point where I just go, I just want this thing done. I'm tired of trying to make it perfect. And it's just usually how it goes. Unfortunately, I didn't even see all that I got overspray on. So I'll just take care of that while I'm here. And the more you stare at it, the more things you're going to find wrong with it. It's the name of the game. There you have it. We're going to touch up a couple other little areas I just saw, like the chrome that I try and do around the wheel wells. Lots of times that gets rubbed off on assembly. That's an easy fix. Just take the side of the brush, go around each wheel well. Got a little crazy on that one, so before it dries, you take a Q-tip, wipe that bad boy right off before it dries. None's the wiser. Right there, there's that. Clean the brush off. I'm gonna get a paint marker real quick. It worked really well on this one. This is the brand. Not a super fine tip, but it classified as a fine tip. And it worked really well to touch to cover up some blemishes. People sometimes ask me if I buff or polish, and I have yet to really dive into that. I would like to eventually do that. I think that would help me with my clear coat, because what I do is I'll clear coat as best as I can, and basically that's just how it's going to be. Because inevitably I get pieces of dirt trapped in the clear that I can't get out, but I don't know how to buff them out without the clear coat looking like crap, and then I have to redo the clear coat. So no, I don't buff or wax or polish. I need to learn how to do that. I just have not went down that rabbit hole yet. Flip her back over. A couple blemishes here and there. I need to wipe it down again with the cloth. And yeah, there you have it. A 100% done. I'll pull that up there and let you see the underside. Yeah, that exhaust looks meh, but what can you do? There you have it. Only other thing that didn't turn out very good is the window louvers. I had a really hard time with those louvers, but oh well. I'll be over and show you all four sides here. Carefully not to touch stuff that I just painted. And there it is. And that'll be all for this video series. That is the 1971 Plymouth Hemi Cuda in triple black, black interior, black paint, black billboard decals. And it's been a great series. I don't know what I'm gonna do as far as videos go. Probably I'll just do anytime I can sit down and record, I'll just record whatever I'm working on, and we'll call it the What's Matt2 Doing series. And it'll just be random videos of me doing something on whatever kit I'm working on. That could be cool. But yeah, thank you all for watching again. Subscribe to the page for more stuff. Watch the weekly live show in the Matt Cave, Wednesdays, 7:30 Central Time. And join the Facebook group if you haven't. That group's really kind of taken off. There's a lot of people on there, a lot of stuff being posted. Definitely need more car guys in the group, so if you're a car guy, please get on the Facebook group and post some stuff, because it's mainly these plane guys. You know how they are. Anyway, that's all for today in this series. Thank you all again for watching, and as always, model